bricked up. We got a pig penis with our first milk cannon of the night. Thank you so much for that $20 milk cannon. You know what? It's so nice that you got to see it twice. Look at them fucking titties. Look at the titties. Hell yeah. And he just says, "Are video games sports?" Okay, let's stop, bro. Let's not start this conversation again. You know what? I'm going to start the conversation again. Atreus, I was on Tuesday night's main event last week. And everybody got into it with Beardo because he said that certain sports weren't considered sports, right? Like we're talking archery. We're talking bowling. We're talking darts, ping pong, all that other shit. He said that those aren't sports. As the man that watches sports, what's your take on that?
So he said, which one? I heard.
So he basically said that the only way something can be a sport is if you're doing some kind of physical activity, if it's team-based, I believe. And I think he said if you can smoke and drink while doing it, then it's not considered a sport.
But what were the sports that he named?
Just the basics, football.
You said archery. That ain't basics.
No. He said that wasn't a sport.
That's what I'm saying. Which of the ones he said aren't sports?
Archery, bowling, darts, ping pong. What was another one? God damn it.
Well, let's just stick with those four. I would consider a sport anything that requires physical activity and competition. So it by him to say that it has to be team-based, well, then you're saying tennis isn't a sport, which would be.
And we said that means boxing isn't a sport. But then he said, no, obviously boxing is a sport. And then he said it was a team sport. But we're like, boxing's not a fucking team sport because no matter how good your trainers are, they're not the ones boxing with you. It's a solo sport, just like wrestling.
Yeah, this really does depend on how you define sports, doesn't it? Because there's, of course, a lot of different sports, like chess. Chess is a sport, but
wait a fucking minute. Chess being a sport.
It's a sport, not in the conventional sense of what you think a sport is. Like a sport is anything that is. Hold on, let me look up the definition. I was about to say. Hold on. Because we gotta look up this definition for real, because this is where the conversation where it's like, okay, here we go. A sport is any activity
involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. If chess is considered a sport, then playing Yu-Gi-Oh is considered a sport. Because what the fuck?
Well, I think
that's the definition: physical exertion, moving pieces. Like physical exertion means any movement.
Correct. Like the levels of it don't have to be the same, but it's still an activity that involves physical exertion. And it has to
me moving a piece on a board to another spot on the board is physical exertion.
Yes. You're exerting force upon an object.
Another aspect that makes it a sport, it's skill-based as well.
I understand it's skill-based, but I wouldn't consider moving a chess piece to the other side of the board physical.
Well, chess matches last a while. That's physical exertion.
They can last for hours, yes. Many
that still
hours.
means that still takes a lot of physical exertion, which was my argument, when they were talking about, well, I don't think esports is a sport. I'm like, yeah, not in the conventional sense, but sitting there for hours playing a video game takes physical exertion. It does. Especially if you're doing it on a competitive level.
It is also tremendous mental exertion because you've got to stay sharp that entire time too.
Well, no, because I feel like every sport, including bowling, archery, darts, things like that, require you to stay to get in some sort of physical shape so you can maintain that physical exertion. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be ripped to throw darts, but you do have to maintain some type of physical exercise in order to do that. You don't have to exercise to play chess or play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You can sit there and maybe it's physical exhaustion to just sit there for hours, but you don't have to train to do that.
To some degree, but most chess players actually do maintain a fairly high level of physical exercise because it requires stamina to keep sharp and mentally agile for hours and hours at a time. Like, if anything, I would prefer a definition that a sport is any activity that requires significant skill and investment in order to excel at. Because that's the universal, right? Nobody here is going to beat any master chessman. Nobody here is going to outplay an expert football player, for example, or outfight a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but once you get to that level, then it's no longer talking about just sports. Then that would just be competitions.
Sort of.
So that's where
basically arrived at the definition problem here.
Yeah.
Whereas like
there's
define
a broad
man
term for sports, like I think there's a broad term, and then you have like the actual laser focus where you think about a sport like basketball, football, soccer, boxing, wrestling, and then you have things that are like sub sports under that same definition. I would say so.
A sport is a sport. There's this idea like if you play one sport, then that makes your sport kind of like that makes me and my sport make like better than you of some like, for example, to some degree, laser tag could be considered a sport, right? Like all the running around and shit. Paintballing could be. Paintballing could be considered a sport. You definitely got to run it. You ever got lit up by the motherfuckers? Yeah, you got to have some stamina. You got to have some.
I mean, there are competitions for that, so
right.
Yeah,
there are. So, but if you're a professional football player, you're not going to take a fucking a bowling athlete as serious as you would take a basketball athlete. So there's a level of clout there. There's a level of physical
prestige.
A level of prestige.
I would say there's different levels.
Yeah. But then also comes the fact that in Norway, for example, skiing stars have a tremendous amount of prestige because we're good at it.
If you're a football player, if you're an American football player, you're going to have a lot of respect for snowboarders. Because, like, who the fuck is getting up at the top of a goddamn mountain with all that snow, risking their life and shit?
Yeah.
Like, y'all want to talk about CTE. This nigga fighting avalanches on a daily basis. That's an Avenger.
Yeah, that's a good.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Here's another question. How do you guys feel about people that do Nitro Circus or the X Games?
Well, the X Games obviously consist of a bunch of different, sports like skateboarding, BMX and shit like that. So that would classify the same. What was the other one you said?
Blow your mind,
Nitro Circus.
I got a question that's gonna blow your mind though.
I don't think a Nitro Circus is like a sport. That's more like a performance.
I have a question that's going to blow your mind. All this conversation about sports. Is porn not considered a sport?
Okay. Well,
oh my God.
Okay. Well, in order for it to be considered a sport, you would have to have awards for it, right? There would have to be the best of the best. It had to be.
But if we're not acknowledging it as a sport, then there would be no awards.
Well, there's no competitiveness in porn. You know what I mean?
If you're OnlyFans model, yes, it is, because you're competing against other OnlyFans models to be the top girl on the site.
Yep, and there are actually official award ceremonies for porn.
Well, yeah, I know there is actual awards, but you're not competing to see who's fucking the best. You're getting
the reward.
I can see Bonnie Blue trying to start shit like that.
Well, you know what? No. Who said in the chat? Where was it? I just saw it. It's like there are awards for movies. It's kind of like the same with that in that sense.
Yeah, but there's no physical exertion in movies though. So
that's just
I don't.
I'm talking about
there's stunt doubles and shit
on a competitive level. And plus,
well, if you're
the product of what you're doing is the movie. So
but if you're using the definition how you're using it though, because if you're saying that a porn star is trying to be the best porn star and they're doing all that physical exertion to be named the top porn star, when you're making a movie, you're not just making a movie just to make it. You want to make it the best movie of the year. It would be the same classification.
Yeah, right? but on the movie, you're not being graded on the physical nature in which you're exerting extortion. Like, for example, because I'm saying that wrong than how I'm thinking it. Like, you're being graded on your expression as far as your acting, your directing, your cinematography, your theme, your tone, and all of that. A porn star, it takes a tremendous amount of stamina, skill, and being in physical shape to get up on top on both knees and bounce that ass for 20 minutes straight. You can't argue.
I mean, they are different levels. You think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it. Is sport a sport?
Homie, let them know to reverse cowboy, get up on both feet on the bed and bounce that ass for 20 minutes straight. That is an athlete. That is an athlete.
Hey, you starting to sound like that one nigga that's in the blue robe. You know what I'm talking about? The goon in nigga, bro. Y'all in the chat know exactly what I'm talking about. They call him the Stephen A. of porn.
Even the men to pick up a woman, hold her up like this, and go for and stroke for 20 minutes straight. That's an athlete. You know the way Adam 22 girl was getting beat down on the video camera. That nigga is an athlete.
You know, when you put it like that, you know, is porn a sport?
You know, why not make a video on this? It's great engagement bait. Make a video, ask the comments, hey, tell me your opinions. And then, oh, that shit's gonna go viral.
Don't worry, it'll be a clip. Don't worry. That's a good question.
I'm just saying, if we gonna say chess is a sport, I think the chick.
Well, I don't know. I think it would have to be different. You would have to have like an actual competition where you have these porn stars fucking it out to see who's the better fuck.
We just line up a bunch of men like 8 beds and tell each woman, okay, let's see who can ride for the longest. See who got the most stamina.
You know, I wouldn't even want to know what that room would smell like afterwards.
Smell like Bonnie Blue's house. Hey, shout out Pig Venus for that 20. Appreciate you.
We do have Guinness World Records for fucking.
We do.
So
that's true. That's true. This is a good.
Look at Nagaris. Look at Nagaris.
Yeah. Hey, Nagaris, go fuck all those girls and let us know if it was a sport or not. All right. Let us know. Shout out.